And now it's really my pleasure to introduce Lisa Wiley, someone I've known for many years, working here in Chief Seattle Council. Lisa's a former East Side Scouter, a district chair. She's been a part of the Chief Seattle Council Executive Board and finished her time here as our Vice President for Membership. She's also the immediate past chair of the National Cub Scout Committee. And in that role, she played a pivotal part in helping develop the Cub Scout program updates. It's not surprising then that Audrey Oakes, the current chair, asked Lisa Wiley to become the National Volunteer Project Manager for Cub Scout program updates. So Lisa's taken this show on the road around the nation. She's talked to a lot of Scout leaders in the past few months. She's going to get a chance to continue doing that. Lisa's a ball of energy. We are so excited to have her with us. And she's going to be available in a new breakout that we're adding tonight. It's going to be Cub Scout program updates continued. So if you want to be a part of that breakout, you can choose that. We'll have each of those sessions, both breakouts there. So if I could have everybody, she won't be able to hear it except for me. It's a round of applause for Lisa Wiley. All right, Lisa, take it away.
All right. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate it. I'm really excited to be here tonight. I'm really happy to hear that you guys are giving away a set of the new Cub Scout handbooks because we've been working on them diligently. And I do want to let you know that what you will find in there is all volunteer driven and data driven. It's really important for you to keep that in mind, that the National Cub Scouting Committee is made up of a group of people who are volunteers, and they are dedicated to bringing dedicated to reviewing and examining the Cub Scout program, where we're at today and what works and what isn't working. We talked to over 23,000 volunteers to build this updated Cub Scout program. We started out with Voice of the Scout. We looked at sales data, and then we looked at we created our own surveys. And so we heard back from a lot of people. So everything you see tonight, everything I'm going to be sharing, it's data driven. It's not based off of personal opinion. So sit back and enjoy. I do want to let you know that as we go through tonight, I am going to be focusing on the changes. And if you want to know more about why we made those changes, you can just Google Cub Scout program updates. It'll list all the changes there for you. You can get some more in-depth information there. You can also listen to Audrey on Cub Chat Live. You can also, Anthony Berger, our National Director of Cub Scouting, also is featured on Cub Chat Live. And that's where we dive into more about why we made the changes we made. And then there's also the Cub Scout program updates archive. And I put the URL there for you. And you can go out there, and we have a lot of FAQs. And we talk about the knife safety adventure. We talk about, we add more things. Right now, we're working on a FAQ on the religious awards update, but you'll also see information about Webelos and why we changed out Webelos. So that's where you can find some information about the problems we identified during our deep dive into the program and why we made the changes that we made and why we made the changes that I'm about to share with you right now. So here is an outline of the updated Cub Scout program. You will see that there are 6 ranks. You'll see Webelos is now 4th grade only. Arrow of Light is 5th grade only. Arrow of Light's going to have its own handbook. Arrow of Light is considered its own rank. It will start on June 1st, just like all the other ranks. You'll see that we have 6 required adventures across every single rank. And then there's 2 elective adventures. So Audrey's got a saying about that. I can't remember what it is, 6 and 2 something or other. So But going back, there's 6 required adventures across the 6 ranks. And you can see from here that they have similar themes to them. The National Cub Scouting Committee felt it was very important to tie the required adventures to the aims of our program. Did you know that the BSA has 4 aims? I'll be honest with you, when I became the National Cub Scouting Chair, I didn't know what the aims were. But there are 4, and I'm very familiar with them now. They are character, leadership, personal fitness, and citizenship. That's what we're trying to teach our youth. So you'll see here we have an adventure called the Bobcat Adventure across all 6 ranks. And we put character and leadership together. And we did that because for this particular age group, how they show leadership is through character, their personal decisions that they make, their personal behavior that they show their fellow scouts. That's how they show leadership. We've got a personal fitness across all the ranks, and we've got citizenship across all the ranks. What makes our youth development program special? What makes us different from everybody else? We focus on the outdoors. We have an outdoor themed required adventure across all 6 ranks. We believe in youth personal safety. And we have a component of family and reverence. Those 6 required adventures plus 2 elective adventures make up the updated Cub Scout program. Anything your Cub Scouts do to earn their advancement will be in these 6 required and these 2 elective adventures. In the current program, they do a variety of required adventures, a variety of elective adventures, and there's some outside of the adventure program things that they do. That will no longer be the case. We had a very wise volunteer on the National Cub Scouting Committee who was a den leader who said, it needs to be in my line of sight. And adventures are in the den leader's line of sight. Here's what the elective adventures are. There are 16 elective adventures to choose from for Lion and 16 elective adventures to choose from for Arrow of Light. For Tiger, Wolf, Bear, and Webelos, there are 20 elective adventures to choose from. For Lions and Arrow of Light, there's 16 because those program years are shortened. Lions don't start until kindergarten starts in the fall. And for Arrow of Light, the National Scouts BSA Committee has asked that those kids be crossing over in the January to February timeframe. So they too have a shortened program year. The lighter colored tiles you see up here, the lighter colored tiles, those are elective adventures that currently exist. But they don't look exactly the same. We have reviewed and rewritten every single required elective adventure. The medium colored tiles, those are the brand new elective adventures. I just want to be clear. These are brand new elective adventures written by volunteers. And down here at the bottom, your darker colored tiles, those are the, let me see if I get this right, range and target sports adventures. And so those are elective adventures. Currently, they are awards. We worked with that national committee and they were on board with making them elective adventures. So they will have belt loops and pins, just like the rest of these adventures. They are listed in the handbooks. Their requirements are not listed in the handbooks. because you have to do those particular adventures at a district or council event. Of all those elective adventures, we've got some that are now, they have the same topic across all the ranks. One of the things that the National Cub Scouting Committee heard loud and clear from the PAC committees and from Cub Masters is, please help me out when I run a PAC meeting. I need some help. I don't want to be planning all my PAC meetings. What can you do for me? So we took a look at our program. Cycling was only available for tigers. We rolled it out. Oh, wait, that's a pun. Sorry, pun unintended, but it happened. We rolled it out for across all the ranks. We also added fishing, which is super popular. That is now across all the ranks. And we added swimming to the ranks that we didn't have a swimming adventure in. You'll also see that there's an adventure for the Pinewood Derby or the Rain Gutter Regatta across all the ranks. Again, we're trying to make this as simple and easy as possible, trying to make it fun for the kids, simple for parents to understand, and easy to be delivered. Those are the three goals of the National Cub Scouting Committee. Some additional elective adventures have to do with awards. We reimagined some of those awards. There's a number of awards that are in the back of the handbook, and believe it or not, very few people did them. Very few people even knew that they existed. And of the people that did know they existed, they were doing the award. The awards were originally set up to incentivize people to change their behaviors, to experience some new things in Cub Scouts. Well, that wasn't happening anymore. But the National Cub Scouting Committee decided that we really liked the idea behind these particular awards. So we reimagined them as elective adventures. So instead of the outdoor, there's an outdoor award. We called it, we call it Let's Camp. So there is a camping elective adventure across all the ranks, except for Arrow of Light. Arrow of Light does require camping because we assume that those fifth graders are going to be joining a Scouts BSA troop. The Summertime PAC Award. Boy, that's a tough one because we heard a lot of negative about the Summertime PAC Award. So we reimagined it as a Summertime Fun Award. It's an individual award. It's not a PAC award, and it is the easiest adventure to earn. All you have to do is 3 activities, 3 Cub Scout activities, either with your den, your PAC, your district, or your council, in the months of May, June, July, and August. Boom, done. World Conservation Award. We as an organization, the BSA, we really pride ourselves on getting our kids outside and knowing about their environment, being situationally aware in their environment. But very few youth earned the World Conservation Award. In fact, less than 2% of our Cub Scouts earned the World Conservation Award. So we worked with the International Scouting Group that is responsible for the World Conservation Award, and they actually have a number of programs available to us. So we decided on Champions for Nature, which is one of the programs they offer. We worked with them to create an adventure for every single rank. And it focuses on conservation in your environment in a developmentally appropriate manner. It also includes a conservation service award for each of the ranks. Conservation service project, sorry. There's a conservation service project in each of these adventures. Knife safety. In the current program, in third grade, there's an adventure called Bear Claws, and it's required. And the kids earn it. And then we just assume automatically that they're going to keep that knife knowledge throughout fourth grade and fifth grade. And then when they get to a troop, then they have to relearn it again. I don't know about you, but as the mother of two boys, I didn't ever think that one adventure in third grade was enough to teach them proper knife safety. I didn't trust them. So in the updated program, there is an adventure called whittling. It's an elective adventure. And once the boys and girls have earned this adventure, they've earned the right to carry and use a pocket knife. When the program year rolls around to June 1st and starts over again, they must earn the elective adventure chef's knife to be able to use a pocket knife. And chef's knife, yes, it focuses on kitchen knives. And there's some cooking involved with this particular adventure. The following year, when they enter first grade and the program year starts again on June 1st, in order to carry a pocket knife, they need to earn the knife safety adventure. And that's a combination of pocket knives and kitchen knives. Badges of rank are changing. The lion will become a diamond because we have room now, because as you saw earlier, Bobcat has become an adventure. So the Bobcat rank is being retired. Bobcat is an adventure that's going to be done every single year across every single rank. There's a proposed placement here, but really, what we're really happy about is if the kids can manage to get their patch on their uniform. It really doesn't matter what order it's in. We're just happy that somebody was able to sew it on there. Uniform changes. Fourth grade will be going into keeping the blue Cub Scout uniform. They've got a hat, they've got a neckerchief. In fifth grade, they move to the tan uniform to get them ready for a Scouts BSA troop. We don't ask for a hat or a neckerchief for fifth grade Webelos because they'll probably be getting that from their Scouts BSA troop. Now, if you have a third grader at the end of your program year who has grown out of their blue uniform and they're trying to decide if I should get another blue uniform for a year or a tan uniform, really, it doesn't matter. We're just happy that they showed up. And if they have a uniform, that's awesome. This is just a recommendation. It's not a requirement. Here's what the handbooks look like that some lucky person's going to get a set of tonight. They're in the Seattle Scout Shop right now, I'm guessing. If they're not, I'd be asking where they are. So Manny, yes, they're in there. Thank you very much. All right, you'll notice some changes. We've got the grade level on the outside of the handbooks, and we've also got a place for the kiddos to write their name. Big change. Tiger now comes in two pieces. In the current program, the Lion handbook comes in two pieces. You've got your youth handbook, which is about a 16-page activity book, and then you have the adult partner guide. In the new program, Tigers will have the same thing. They will have a youth handbook and they will have an adult partner guide. And it really leans into our concept of lions and tigers have adult partners with them. So why not have a separate adult partner guide and then a separate youth handbook? The beauty of the handbook too is both of these have been updated. Well, the lion's been updated and the tiger's been created. It has 64 pages in the youth handbook of fun, fun, fun. There's at least one page for every single adventure. And in the Den meeting resources, which I'll share with you in a minute or two, we refer to exact pages that you can use as part of delivering your adventure in your Den meeting. Here's an example of what we've got for Bobcat. We've got the Scout Law, and then we've got these little characters from Scout Life magazine that actually show, give you a pictorial of what the Scout Law is. Tigers in the Wild is our outdoor themed required adventure, and they have to go and find the Cub Scout 6 Essentials. There's mazes in there, there's crossword puzzles in there, there's coloring pages, there's all sorts of activities in both the Lion and the Tiger Youth Handbook. Here's an example of an updated entry pages to an adventure. You'll notice that the requirements are very simply written. Just a little math for you in the current program, because we have multiple levels of each of the many of the requirements. There's over 10,000 ways to get your bear rank right now. 10,000 unique ways to get to bear rank. And I know Manny is really happy that he's not a Cub Master anymore and he doesn't have to keep track of all that because it's almost impossible. Well, I'm telling you, we didn't do that. Everything is very simple and easy now. The requirements state the desired outcomes, and that's all we say. This is what we want you to do. This is what we want you to do. We aren't going to tell you how to do it. We're just going to tell you what we want you to do. You'll notice down here, there's a QR code. Those are not live right now, but they will be live June 1st, and those will take the Den leader to the Den meeting resources. As I've mentioned, Arrow of Light has their own handbook. Inside the Arrow of Light handbook, there also is a section that is duplicative of the Scouts BSA handbook. We provide you information direct from the Scouts BSA handbook on the patrol method, a little bit about advancement, and there's information to get the kids to their Scout rank. Now, they can't work on their Scout rank until they've actually crossed over into their troop, but it was the hope that these kids will read through the handbook and share it with their parents to learn a little bit more about Scouts BSA. Because for those of us who have gone through the program or have children in the Scouts BSA troop, it's very, very different than Cub Scouts. And it's a pain point. It's a barrier for these new parents when they transition over to a Scouts BSA troop also. They don't understand what's going on. Advancement is very clear in Cub Scouts, and it's very different when you get to Scouts BSA. All right, I just want to spend the last few minutes talking about our Den meeting resources. This is what the National Cub Scouting Committee is working on right now. We're very excited about it. So the Den leader manuals that are printed right now that you can buy in the Scout shop, those are being discontinued. We're moving our Den meeting resources online. The Den leader experience is being retired. These Den meeting resources are available to everybody. Not just the Den leader, they're available to everybody. And the beauty of that, the thinking behind that, is that now anybody can run a Den meeting. You can meet as a den at the beginning of the year and plan your calendar for all your adventures for your den meetings. You can let all the other families choose an adventure or two that they would like to be responsible for, and they can go out to scouting.org and they can see what they can do to actually deliver that particular den meeting. So what you would do is you go out to scouting.org and you would pick your rank. So you have all 6 ranks listed here. From there, you would go to your badge of rank page. It lists all the adventures. At the very top is the Bobcat adventure, because that's the required adventure we would like you to do first. The Bobcat adventure gets the kids working together as a team. A lot of times for a den in the fall, you have kids joining your den. There's activities for the kids to get to know each other. And it also has requirements with the Scout Oath and the Scout Law that are developmentally appropriate. Underneath that, we have our required adventures, the rest of the required adventures, and then we list all of the elective adventures. So whoever's running the den meeting would choose whichever adventure they would like to work on. And it brings up this page. Gives you a short description of what the adventure is like. And then it talks about the safety moment. And this is really great information, not only for den leaders, but for anybody running the den meeting. So in this particular area, you will see on the swimming elective adventures, we will let you know that you need to have somebody trained in safe swim defense, and we'll give you the link to go to the safe swim defense page. In the bear, Webelos, and Arrow of Light ranks, you get to do paddle crafts, but in order to do that, somebody needs to be trained in safety afloat. So we'll talk about that here and provide you the links. You can see a link here. There's a craft tips video. We link you to pages on bicycling. We link you to pages on fishing. There's all sorts of other safety tips, and all of it will be right in here. We'll give you a little blue box with all the requirements in there. And then underneath that, we'll list each requirement one by one, and you'll have these activity cards. And you would just select the activity card and get more information about that, and that will help you build your den meeting. Now, the activity card has these little icons on there. We'll tell you if it's an indoor or an outdoor or an activity that does some traveling. We'll give you an energy level. We'll give you supplies, and we'll tell you about how much prep time there is. There's also a key. There's a key that you can click on, so don't forget about that. But the beauty of this is then you can use these activity cards. There's 1 to 3 activity cards for every single requirement, and you can build your den meeting. So you probably wouldn't want, if you have 5 requirements, you probably don't want 5 activities with very high energy. You want to do something that takes the kids up and down and down and then ends them on an up. We have, we try to do activity cards with an easy to do activity, kind of a medium activity, and a hard activity. If we're getting the kids outside, we give you activity cards for a urban setting, for a suburban setting, and for a rural setting. We try to provide you a large variety so that people can choose. So here's the substance for an activity card. Again, we've got our activity up here. You can see the topic, and then it's a required adventure. We give a little bit of information about the activity itself. we provide you a supply list. So this is your shopping list. You're going to be able to print this out and go to Michael's or Target or go to Amazon or whatever and be able to get your supplies. And then we give you directions. We tell you what might need to be done before the meeting. We also have something during the meeting, and sometimes there's something for after the meeting. These additional resources down here, they're links to Scout Life magazine, like how to maybe build a bat house. Provide you the link right to Scout Life magazine down here. Another great example is we have something that the volunteers working on this, they've created something called Printables. So let's say you're taking your wolf den out for their walk as part of their outdoor required adventure, and they're supposed to identify 5 animals in either plants or trees. What you'll find down here in additional resources is a scavenger hunt. So all the den leader would need to do, or whoever's running that particular den meeting, is they would have to print off the scavenger hunt for each of the kiddos and hand them a pencil. They grab their Cub Scout 6 essentials and they're ready to go. And again, this will be available on June 1st. There are 1 to 3 activities for every single requirement. Right now, we've got about 1,100 different activities that have been built. And I'm saying that because I'm super proud of the teams that have been working on that. It's been a lot of work. It's been a lot of time. There's been some tears and a lot of laughter, but we've still got a few more to do. But over at the end of the day, there'll be over 1,200 separate activities. And again, that's replacing the den leader resources. And the beauty of this living online, again, you can share it. The den leader can share the load in terms of delivering the actual den meeting. And we can go out and we can make changes to this on an ongoing basis. We don't have to, if we see a cool activity somewhere, we can go ahead and add it. We don't have to wait till the end of the program year. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, I know Chris said that I was, he asked me to do a separate breakout for, to answer your questions, comments, or concerns about the updated Cub Scout program. But there's me, and there's also Audrey, who actually is a member of your own council, which I think you guys should be super proud of. Rooms, hopefully you took away something from there. But like I said, it's a lot of information. I would encourage you to sit down and think about this and think about what one thing can you make happen. Just one thing that you took away that you can make actionable, and then actually do something about it. A friend of mine once said that we like to admire the problem. So you may have a problem with recruiting. You may have a problem with delivering your program. You may have a problem with getting enough parent volunteers. And you can sit all day long and sit back and talk about the process and admire the problem and wring your hands. But what is it that you're going to do? What action are you actually going to take? And don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't say, I'm going to go, I've got these 6 things I need to take care of. I'm going to take 6 separate actions. You can only do one thing at a time. So write them down, put them on Post-it notes. Guys who know me know I love my Post-it notes. We did the whole Cub Scout program updates with Post-it notes, Chris. I'm just telling you, I got 2 whiteboards and they got full of Post-it notes, and that's how we did it. And what do? Is I write everything on a Post-it note and I stick it up on the board, and then I pick one of them, and that's what I work on. And I finish it. I don't start on anything else until I finish it. And that's my action. And then I put it off to the side and I have a little celebration. Audrey knows about my celebrations, and I finish that. So that's my takeaway for you, is think about everything that you've learned tonight. Write it down on your Post-it notes, make a list, and figure out what one thing am I going to do that's different? What one thing am I going to take an action on, and I'm going to get it finished before I start to the next thing. And my final thing is, I talked to Laura. It was really great to talk to you. She's starting a new pack, and she's loving the updated program because she knows nothing about Cub Scouts. And she said, this is going to be so much easier for me. And that's the whole point. That's why we made these changes. We didn't make them because we felt like it. We listened to the data and we said, the data is telling us this, and this is the way that our constituents would like to have their program presented to them. Fun, simple, and easy.